everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today I'm looking at a colour combination I haven't looked at that much yet, but it is a bit of a growing trend I think, which is Grixis, and more specifically this deck is a Sylex Grixis deck. Not often I have words, sentences or phrases with that many X's in them, but yeah, Sylex Grixis is what we're looking at today. I'll do a quick run through of the deck. Obviously our kind of title is Karn's Sylex is running only a 2 of, but it's still a notable 2 of because of how influential it is in the games. Karn's Sylex, for those who haven't seen it covered in my other video, is a 3 costing legendary artifact, enters tapped. Players can't pay life to cast spells or to activate abilities that aren't mana abilities, basically rules out Tenacious Underdog, basically, but not a lot else. It has X, tap, exile the Sylex, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less, activate only as a sorcery. So it is a board wipe, but a board wipe for everything. So obviously our goal with the Sylex is to wipe out all of our opponent's little things and then take over the board with our little things and or big things. We are running another board wipe as a 4 of, which is the Temporal Firestorm. Temporal Firestorm is 5 or 7 in this deck, because we don't have any white sources. 5, and it deals 5 damage to each creature and planeswalker. If we pay 7, we can phase one of our own things out. We're mostly using it as a board wipe. The reason that I built this red-blue deck again is that I love this Kraken Firestorm combo. The Kraken is a 4 costing 6/6 trample with ward 2, and at the beginning of each combat, if it is untapped, each opponent may tap an untapped creature they control. If they do, you tap it and create a 1/1 fish. This is nice because Kraken is very hard to remove when you play it on turn 4 because it has ward 2, so they can grasp it and pay 4 for their grasp, or I don't know, Hero's Downfall on 10-5 or whatever. It's difficult to remove apart from forcing you to sack it, which I'll come to in a second. But then if they don't have any creatures to tap, because we've just done a Temporal Firestorm, which will not kill our Kraken as it has 6 toughness, we're just getting in for 6 every turn. So this is a very sort of sweet combo for sort of destroying our opponent's hopes and dreams, really, because if we've got a 6/6 trample ward 2 and they've got no creatures or planeswalkers because we've just wiped the board, this is going to end games. To make sure that we have creatures around so that we're not forced to sack our Kraken by Liliana or invoke Despair, we are running 2 Tainted Adversaries. So this is a 2-drop but can also be a 5-drop for 3 creatures, so quite a good creature value, can scale a little bit into our late game. Is nice in the sense that if we do a Meathook for 2, it doesn't die. I like this card when paired with Meathook as opposed to, for example, other 2-drops often have 2 toughness. So yeah, it's quite a nice combo with that. For Bloodtithe Harvester, this card is kind of a staple in Fable based decks, which this is, as it can give us that removal if they don't remove these cheap cards. It gives us like permanent removal of any creature, so that's very nice. 3 Corpse Appraisers for a bit of card filtering. There should normally be creatures in the graveyard because we're running 2 cut downs, 3 make disappears, so we'll either be killing their small creatures or countering their creatures and putting them in the graveyard before we play our Corpse Appraisers, which again copies nicely with Fable. For those who haven't seen this combo, I don't know where you've lived for the past few months. We're running 2 Aether Channelers, which is a new card, so I wanted to try it out because it is a rare that I haven't really used much yet, and it's a 3 costing human wizard that is obviously non-legendary, so can be copied with Fable nicely. And when it enters the battlefield, choose 1. We can create a bird, we can return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That can be our own, that could be our opponent's, it doesn't have to be creatures, so it's a pretty flexible bounce. Or we can draw a card. So obviously this will be very nice if copied with Fable as well, because we've got a very flexible choice of what we want to do. We can either create creatures if we think we're going to be forced to sack through Invoke Despair or similar. We can draw cards, or we can bounce stuff. So I'd say this is a pretty flexible removal when paired with Fable, and I'm quite keen to try it out. Running 1 Sphinx. This I only included recently during the video, in fact, because I'd like to try and have stuff that goes over the top of Sylex. So the higher that I could do Sylex for, the more of my opponent's stuff I can remove without removing my own. So if I do a Sylex for 4, I can keep my Sphinx around, whereas if I had an extra Corpse Appraiser or Aether Channeler, it would get swept up in the Sylex. So this is something to have in the deck to go over the top of that, as is Sol'kanar the Tainted. Sol'kanar is a 5 costing elemental demon. It's a 5/5. It is legendary, sadly. so it can't be copied with Fable. At the beginning of your end step, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Draw a card, each opponent loses 2, you gain 2. It does 3 damage to one target creature or planeswalker, or give it to the opponent. So once we've used all 3 other options, obviously we would have to give Sol'kanar to the opponent, but that is virtually never going to happen. We have many ways of removing Sol'kanar. One is playing the other copy, one is Temporal Firestorm, Karn's Sylex. We could potentially even Meathook our own Sol'kanar, so we're pretty much never going to have to give this away. The other option is obviously we can bounce it back to our hand with Aether Channeler, so yeah, we don't really have to worry about giving it away. We're just going to utilise it to get all that other good nice value out of it. That is our deck. I'm currently running 25 lands in here, which seems to be just about enough, because we aren't running any 6 drops. We're mostly 2 and 3, so I think with our card filtering with Fable, the 25 will be enough. Let's see, if I have to up it to 26, we can remove maybe a Firestorm, but I want to try it with 25. I have since managed to get 4 copies of Sulfurous Springs, and I'm still only on 2 of Shivan Reef, so we're getting closer to having full play sets of these Pain lands, which is making the 3 colour decks more playable for me now. And yeah, I think I've noticed it during my testing of this, that having these lands is particularly helpful. So I'm going to have a few games now. I think we're at Diamond 3 or 4, maybe top of 4 or bottom of 3, due to my wild experimentation. And so we're going to see if we can climb the ladder a little bit today with this. Okay. This could go one of 2 ways, mostly a bad way, but let's see. I haven't got any blue, we've only got 2 lands, got no black this time, but at least I have 1 more land. Let's start with the blue-red land. It's looking like it could be a Sylex first type game. Let's see. Fable first game, I think. Probably misjudged, but I think if we put this next turn, we're still okay. So, what should we discard? This and this. We've got no black land. Yeah, let's Kraken this. It feels nice to have a Kraken in play. Wedding announcement. Okay, I see what's going on here. More stuff I can't play. I guess we can attack with this little dude and then attack with both and grasp the... no, attack with the little dude, grasp the missionary. Yeah. And then we'll put in the Sylex. See what we can work out. What to do next. Okay, so we can copy our Kraken and throw it at them. I mean, we could get rid of everything that costs 2 or less, and then play this. Maybe should have, I don't know. I might, no, we want to keep this one around, I think. I think we'll play this anyway. Just trying to think like when it's how you time stuff with Sylex. That's the hard part now. I'm thinking that I don't really want to kill my other goblin tokens, so I'll just create more. Obviously I could have killed it and replaced it, but just killing 2 1/1s for a Sylex doesn't seem that worthwhile. Not now they've got an Edgar there. Although getting rid of both wedding announcements does sound quite nice, but unfortunately we would kill our reflections. Maybe that is a price worth paying. Yeah, don't need the black. Okay. I think we will get rid of all things that cost less than 3. So if I copy this, and we will get rid of everything that costs less than 3. Just leaving them with an Edgar. No, they could take 12 or block to save 4 damage, but that's all. And we obviously have our Firestorm ready to clear up any tokens coming out of this and anywhere else. Still think that, I mean, they could grasp the Kraken, would be the worst case scenario for us, but they don't seem to be doing that. Okay, we'll just try and attack. Yeah, and then put in the other one. We're going to have quite a nice situation going on here, because if we Firestorm next turn, before they get the opportunity to tap the Kraken, it should remove all their creatures. Yep, I do that just so that we take damage. But given that they only have 1 life, 2 mana, and our Krakens have Ward 2, this should work pretty well. I could have kicked it and saved my fish as well, in fairness. Whoops. Good game. No creatures to tap. And then take 12. Game 1 in the bag. Unfortunately, can't quite do it. GG. And that repairs my experimental rank loss and puts us back to Diamond 3. Okay. Game 1 was relatively successful, leaning on our Kraken combo. Let's see how this one goes. Looks like mono red. Got the disappear, which is nice, and the Channeler. I haven't seen this really in any other decks, but keen to give it a trial here. Give it its fair shake. That is a nice combo. At least we have the Meathook to deal with it at some point. Unfortunately, we're going to take a bit of damage in the meantime. That would be very nice, but we will get rid of that one. So I think we will play the Channeler and put the bear back in my hand. And then next time we can just wipe the board. Well, not with a Raiju around. We are a step behind that, so if I play this, they will just tap a 1-1 and swing. We could be nearly dead. but it's kind of my chance, I suppose. Oh, now we've got no chance. Okay, slightly worrying that we could be so easily out-tempoed. The counter wasn't enough. And we're on the draw. Yeah, I guess that's a potential issue. The Meathook couldn't quite get the 3-drop. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Let's, if that happens to us again, we might have to make some tweaks. I am running the adversaries. That is an interesting point made by this hand that we can use to slow those kinds of decks up, which looks like we're going to be putting it straight to the testing. Because, yeah, I have got cheap creatures in here. Vampires. Obviously the Harvester can kill the adversary, but that's okay. Bankbuster is a change of speed. Probably Sylex time. Since the opponent already has 5 permanents on the board to our 1. Be interesting to see if they play anything this turn, or they just draw, yeah. Okay, the Sylex seems to have done its work there. Because I haven't had to use it yet, and they've already got rid of something, so we could just do this for 2 and play a 2-drop. Effectively resetting the board for us. Even gets rid of the Bankbuster, that is nice. Just stops that extra bit of draw for them, doesn't it? Okay, we can play this and hold open and make this appear. And what do we want here? Probably the Firestorm. It's a tough one. Fable is also nice because we can hold open to make disappear and play it. We've got decent stuff to copy. Maybe I'll take the Fable. That was a tough one. I think we can attack. Wasn't expecting a block with that time. Anvil can't do a lot about, unfortunately. We can counter that. I don't know how good the Weatherlight is, to be honest. I haven't seen it used a lot, but let's not give them the chance to get it going. I'm surprised there was no attack. We definitely wouldn't have blocked. Actually, do we we don't Fable yet. We want to. Shall we attack with our Harvester? I'm going to play the Lounge just so we've got a red source that is untapped. So this is 5 or 8 to play for the next level, so we've got 7 next turn. Must have forgotten they had no blood tokens. Easy mistake to make, especially when they had an Epicure in hand. That is frustrating for them. Yeah, Obnixus is a bit nasty.
I'm not afraid of that. Go sow some chaos.
No, not at this moment. I
Defy
won't discard.
and you'll lose everything.
I think we'll just cycle both our lands at this point. Although it's nice to have adversary, it's nice to have. It's not as in 8 for adversary. We'll probably draw more anyway, he says. I'm just thinking about my options here. So we could put the Sylex in. The aim of clearing out the whole board. Well, obviously we're going to have the Kiki Jiki token next turn. Let's attack and see what happens. They could choose to remove various things of ours here, or none, or just the token. Interesting, because it makes me less likely to want to Sylex. We now have about as many useful things on the board as they do. What we could do is just put the Kraken in. We could put the Kraken and put the Sylex in, but then they know it's coming. We could kick the adversary once. I think we'll put the Kraken in. Put this in. This is down for when we want it then. Because it's quite, at the moment, they're not generating a token. Does that mean
your punishment
there's a Meathook coming?
is my
I
entertainment.
haven't really got the mana. Yeah, be interesting to see what they have. Because with no creatures down, Kraken is hard. So we've still got a blood to sacrifice at the moment, so we don't have to let them draw for that. That is okay. Let's attack and see where we end up. So we can get rid of one of these. Okay, just working out how close to death we are. We're going to 4 this turn. There's only one of Nixilus left that we can, in theory, keep this lounge to discard to. That makes it easier. Decision, perhaps. Because we could Sylex for 3 here and be left with a Kraken and they have nothing. I think we have to do that now.
My empire crumbles.
And this costs 5, so we can do that. I think we'll hold this lounge. Although 7, I guess 8 we could have got to. Anvil, yeah. Any way of generating any tokens, so no, okay. just, yeah. I don't want to get Obnixilis, but I guess if we have to discard the Adversary, we could. Like if they create a token and double plus an Obnixilis. Okay, I've actually got something to generate a token with. They must have topped that if they would have played it last time. As they did have double black-red. God, that's a bit painful. Decline? Yeah, I don't think we want to. So we've got our fish. We'll attack with this one. Obviously they can block and tap. They didn't. That's okay then. So we could double. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Because if we put 4 2/2 tokens down, it is quite the threat of damage. They can Meathook for 2, so I guess we don't want to let them kill the Adversary. They'll just block like this. Obviously if they Meathook they're going to gain a load of life back, but at least they'll kill their own things. Yeah. We can go to 1. Oh no, we go to 0. Nice, yeah. Whoa, just didn't quite get there that game again. That's slightly frustrating. The Sylexes were nice, but timing them is hard, and I guess if we'd have timed this slightly differently, we maybe could have played that out differently. I think the deck isn't quite right as it is, but I'm not sure what changes we need to make yet. Okay. So I've made a couple of tweaks to the deck now. Removed 1 land for a cut down, and I removed the grasp, I think, for a cut down, just to make it slightly cheaper and slightly less damaging removal for us. I feel like the deck is close, but we are slightly, oh no, 2 lands, so okay. Not our fastest start, but well, Fable against Fable, can't complain. Grixis against Grixis. It is going to be that battle. Land of Meathook. So they probably have another Meathook in hand. Is all I'm learning from that. Nice. Okay, anything here we don't want at the moment? Firestorm. So there aren't creatures. I could have discarded one for this, to be fair. Would have been maybe a better move, but should we play the Adversary? I guess we could. I think it's if we want to be Meathooking next turn. That's why I was thinking the Adversaries are quite nice. It's a slightly odd play, but if we put both Adversaries in, then we can Meathook for 2 and clear their Fable out. I know we run our own, but okay, interesting that they're fearing the Adversary so much. Just for something to exile. Bridge and a Harvester, so hopefully not the best pick. pull off that appraiser. I wonder if they have counter in hand. That is an interesting attack. They must desperately need 3 mana for something. Or they're going to Meathook for 1. Yeah, fine. That desperate to get rid of Adversary. I can take that. Well, within well, I mean, the other option is I could Sol'kanar and do 3 damage to their reflection. And then keep our own Kiki Jiki. Maybe that is the thing to do. Because if we remove this, there's just a chance they could put Harvester down or have some kind of other horrible thing that they can copy. Whereas this way we're forcing them to remove our Kiki Jiki, really. They could do it the same way. Corpse Appraiser, so they're looking for removal. The nice thing is we have an Appraiser and a Harvester in hand to copy, so if they don't find any, they're in trouble. Good, that was nice. Came through another Grixis deck. Okay, next game. It's the queuing up, but this is an okay hand. Lots of tap lands going down, but okay. Ghoul aggro. We need an untapped land, please. This could be, yeah, this could be a vicious start. That is what I needed. So we can make disappear the next thing. And then 2 1-drops at the moment for Sylex to take out. That was only a 2-drop, but I don't want to take the 4 damage it would have been this turn. Little Sylex in there. Now they're thinking what to do. Nothing. That's nice. We've managed to put the brakes on them without actually using it. So, do we Kraken? I think we do. Hope there's not too much burn in this deck. They are going to kill us. Very nice. Oh no, they're not, because they can't do that on the chick. Whew. I don't know if I can gain any life, but obviously we can remove their 1-drops. We've only got 8 damage next turn. Any zap to my face? Waiting to see. It does 1 damage. It can't block. It costs you 1 life and it can't block. I guess they can tap it. Yeah, sorry. Obviously. So, I suppose we can appraise and keep open, make disappear. We'll remove that, just in case. So we can counter for 4 because of our fishy. this. They probably thought they had it when they topped that Raiju. Oof. I thought they had it before and I forgot the Puppeteer doesn't work when you attack with two other things. Close. Very close. Oof. That was quite a nice victory. Okay, I've made one further change to the deck this time, which is to remove one Tainted Adversary and put in a Sphinx of Clear Skies. Mostly because I'm addicted to that card, but also because I was thinking that with the Sylex, it could be useful to have more expensive late game cards as opposed to the Adversary, which is a cheap potential late game card, and we end up wiping our own board sometimes. So just wanted to tweak the deck in the more expensive direction, but not go overboard. So that's what I've done. Grasp the Harvester, okay. We will just go on a Fable train here, I think. Unless we have a reason not to. Hopefully my token will survive and I can Fable and hold open Make Disappear to counter their Invoke Despair next turn. Because obviously we can attack here. Firestorm could be nice. Can ditch a Harvester. Fair enough. Because we have Meathook. Okay. We can Meathook for 2 then. Interesting that they would block that. I think most people wouldn't. Just noticed that they've missed a land drop as well, which is nice for us. So we're not getting Invoke Despair this turn. Or Shieldred, which I'm surprised about. Yeah, Sylex be nice here. Okay, cut down's nice. I think we'll do it in our turn so they can't through their Bankbuster. Like this. And then we want to hold Make Disappear, so we'll just cast the Harvester, which obviously is going to cost us some life, but we can copy next turn and kill something with 6 toughness if we need to, i.e. a Shieldred. No, we won't be having that though. No thank you. So, I can copy this and swing. Let's hope they don't have another Meathook. Odds are they don't in the top 13 cards. They could obviously have an Invoke Despair now. Nope. Trespasser, that's alright. I can deal with that. Probably don't want the Firestorm now that we've got the board present. I don't want a Harvester, I get a Harvester. I don't want a Firestorm, I get a Firestorm. Let's copy our Harvester, shall we? Let's use this to kill this, discarding our Firestorm. Which we don't need at the moment. As previously discussed deck. And then I think we can play this. Not that it matters, but we can then get our Sol'kanar down. To draw a card initially. managed to bury that black deck, didn't we? With the controlling nature of our deck. That was lovely. Okay, next game. Again, we don't have any untapped lands for our turn 2, but we'll keep it. Could be a slow burn. But we have got some burn to equalise us if need be. Yeah, we've got the untapped land. That's nice. Be interesting if they play a creature for us to counter. They don't, so I'll play my other tap land for now. They are struggling for land, maybe. So now we're effectively on the play. I guess we'll counter that. No point letting them have that down. Should we just chuck a Kraken in? Because they can't deal with it. 6 damage a turn until they get to 4 mana. Yeah. You see that when you've been mana screwed and you just know you're dead. And again, Kawasemi. More of my English butchering of foreign words, I'm sure. This is slightly painful with the dual pain lands, but yeah, we've got a different land this time. That's nice. We can put this in, I think. Gets green, so pretty nice, safe opener, especially if we're against green creatures. Enchantments. Attack. And then Fable while we can for cheap. Obviously we've got plenty of half decent interaction going on here, but we want to get the Kiki Jiki token if we can, so I'm expecting my little goblin to be exiled, but you never know. If we get a swing and we... too bad. Yeah, we should definitely discard this. This will be nice. And this. Jesus. Yeah, we might need to play that and draw a card, mightn't we? Okay. We don't have any lands in our deck. Gone through loads. Just... Exiling the Adversary. I mean, I have got another Channeler. And they're going to need to deal with the Kiki Jiki when it flips. Going to have to bounce this Kami, aren't we? On the other hand, doing this for 2 will be very, very nice. Yeah, that is going to be painful. If we survive this turn, it will be very nice. Don't know if we will. 5, 14. We've blocked with both of these. We'll survive the turn. On 1. And then we can Sylex for 2. I still haven't got my next land though. What is going on? %50 chance to draw one. What is happening here? Oops, I meant to try it. We're still technically alive because we can bounce one of these Kamis. I mean, if they just have any removal for the Adversary, we're dead, but... Hey, this land situation. Now we have to double block the Weaver, or the Kami. I mean 17 cards, 3 lands. Let's go play Hearthstone, shall we? Okay. Just about gotten over that horrendous abuse by the game last time. I'd like to get a little win to wrap this up. A win against Whisper would be nice. What is this pet? Oh my goodness, I don't know if I've ever seen this. That is a thing. Initiate. Ooh. That is nice. Nice once you've got one of these down, because it basically means your pain lands stop tapping for pain effectively, because yeah, you'll always have the right colour. That was a bit of a vicious start from our opponent. Please don't zap my harvester. But I think that might be what's happening. And Karn Sylex is going to come in useful. Okay, no. Let's block this one, because these are both ones. So if I chuck this in, then I can in theory wipe away these 1-drops and play my Fable next turn. Cost me a blood token, but that seems worth it. And then we can do the Sphinx, which a 5/5 Ward 2 should be quite hard for Boros to remove. And if they remove it with a Cathar, we've got our Firestorm. Yeah, let's discard one of our islands. We don't need tons. Every time. Every time. At least because we can attack with this, we will have a cut down available. Even once our Sphinx is in. GG. That will do. That was a nice one. Okay, so very quick look at stats. I have only played 9 games with this deck. This is the exact version of this deck, all of which were on the ladder, on the video. We've played against a right mixture of other things. Notable things really is that we've won 2 against mono black, which is nice. You have to be able to beat mono black in this meta, as I've said before. We've won 1 against the mirror match, which is nice, but we've lost against mono red due to it being a little bit too fast for us. So I think that was pre the inclusion of the cut downs, I think. And yeah, my later versions of the deck, since adding cut down and that, I have only lost 1 game, which was against Selesnya Enchantments. But yeah, I would say the deck has now been tweaked to handle mono red a little better, so I'd be keen to try it a little bit more against that on the ladder. So yeah, I'm going to try it out a little bit more, tweak it a little bit more, but I do think there's value in this Kraken Firestorm combo at the moment, especially if you've got a blend of these other useful creatures lower down. Obviously Fable basically has to go in every single deck until it maybe eventually gets banned, but given that black is sort of dominating the meta at the moment, I don't know that Fable will be banned. I think it's, you know, I think it's going to stick around, but just because it is an auto inclusion in every red deck, and I think as soon as a card gets to that level, it starts to get, you know, on the ban radar. So let's see if it survives. But yeah, really loving the Fable and Aether Channeler, but for me, the MVP of the deck is definitely the Sylex. This is yeah, this is a performer, and if you've got some higher cost cards that you can run into after it, or even put down before, and then trigger the Sylex and clear the way for them, like the Kraken and like the Sol'kanar and like the Sphinx, then yeah, it's a decent it's a decent card. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave me a like and a subscribe. As I say, always means a lot. Everyone who has stuck around and watched me playing on the channel to date, I really do appreciate it. It makes it good fun, makes it fun making content for you guys, and gives me something to do with my my spare time. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.